Welcome to the Mom CEO podcast. I'm your host, Esther Roche. Join me as we explore the dynamic intersection of motherhood and entrepreneurship. From the challenges to the triumphs, we're here to unravel it all. Get ready for insightful conversations, practical wisdom, and a whole lot of inspiration. Let's embark on this empowering journey together. Hello, and welcome to the Mom CEO podcast. Today, I'm joined by Ingafay, who is an authenticity strategist. Hello, Inga, and welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Esther. I'm so excited to be here, girl. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming on the show. I'm really excited to hear about, you've had quite what seems to be an incredible journey. And I just want you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us what you do.
Awesome. Yes. So my name is Inga Faison-Cavitt. I go by Ingafay, and I have moved to an authenticity strategist. I was formerly a mechanical engineer. I did that for over 20 years. I worked in a chemical plant. And right before COVID happened, I got laid off. So at that particular point, I had to decide whether I was going to find another engineering job or if I was going to really walk out my dream of being an entrepreneur full time. So I felt like if I didn't do it at that particular point in my life, I probably would never do it. So I took the leap of faith and really just kind of walked out my dream. At the time that I started, I guess, this entrepreneurship journey, I was in direct sales. So I was selling skincare and color cosmetics. And I had been doing that for probably about 15, 16 years on a part-time basis. Had some success in that. So my initial vision was that I was going to do that full time. But what I found was that I was talking to my clients and they were saying things like, well, Inga, I'm going to just wait until COVID is over to do XYZ. And I was just like, girl, why would you wait? I mean, this is a time of transition. Granted, our lives have been completely changed as a result of this, but this is a time for you to kind of figure out what you're going to do next, not for you just to sit and pause. So with that said, it really just weighed heavy on my heart that granted, I was serving women from the superficial part of them, what they look like. But then I realized that I really wanted to help them with their mindset, because as we know, mindset is everything. If your mindset is not right, it's basically going to be how you see the world. Your filter through the world is basically through your mindset. So I created a course that I wanted to do to help women, entrepreneurs. That's really who I was focused on. Mm-hmm. And at that particular time, it didn't work out. Well, you know how in entrepreneurship, you have your ebbs and flows and you have to figure things out. And because something didn't figure out doesn't mean that you have to stop. It just means that you have to tweak and try it again. So that's what I did. And then my second tweak was the authenticity strategist point of view. And it's really been helping me serve the women that I truly want to serve, which is my fellow introverted entrepreneur. And because I am an introvert and I know the trials and tribulations of being trained by extroverts and them telling you to do stuff that really doesn't resonate with you, I really wanted to make it a point that I could serve my fellow tribe, introverted female entrepreneurs, and help them lessen the learning curve so they wouldn't have to go through what I had to go through to figure this thing out.
Wow, it sounds like, such an incredible sort of transition that you decided to take, and more so with the challenge of COVID. It was a challenging time, and what, obviously you did mention briefly about you thought that was the right time to do it. How were things for you at home? Because you're a mom as well. So how did you balance out trying to navigate a new business and then run the family?
Right. But we'll see, the ironic thing is, Esther, I had the business, my direct sales business, and I was working full time. I did that together. Okay. Maybe I didn't say that was clear, but I did do that together. So when it came time, when I got laid off, which was before COVID, let me just make sure that's clear. It was before COVID. It wasn't as COVID was happening, because I'm not sure if I probably would have found another engineering job if it happened. I think timing is everything. I'll say it that way. So that is why I did what I did. Now, as far as the home life, my son is 14, soon to be 15. And at the time that all this happened, I guess he was probably like around 9 or 10 years old when this was going down. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because I wanted the flexibility, because I was juggling both of them. You know, when you work for somebody, they really don't care about when your kid gets sick or if he has different activities at school. So that was another reason why I wanted to take the leap, because I wanted to be in more control of my schedule and have the flexibility to do the things that I wanted to do. Now, as a result of taking that leap of faith, during my son's middle school years, I was at every game because I could schedule around it. I didn't have somebody saying, oh, well, we got to shut down and XYZ is going on. And I know I said that you could leave early to go see your son's game, but no, we got to take care of this problem now. I didn't have that on me because I was in control of my schedule. So that was the part of it that I absolutely loved. The family time that I was able to have during the time we just had little morning talks during this period of transition that everybody was going through. I treasure those times because we didn't have it any other time other than that because I was always working. So even as you know, our lives has gone back to somewhat normal now, I have still been able to go to his games and be able to participate in the different activities he has at school that I would not have been able to do before. So that aspect of it has really been great. I think it's really helped our family be closer and just really be able to spend the time together because of the flexibility.
Yeah, and that's one very important aspect with regards to obviously setting up and starting your own business, because it's that flexibility. But sometimes what you get is people get overwhelmed and they get really busy, that they then lose that flexibility as a result of starting their business. Have you experienced that, or do you have clients that go through that at all?
Yeah, I've experienced that myself. One of the things, it's funny that you say that. I think about just this morning, or just really in the sense since he's been out of school. I'll just say it that way. My schedule has been upside down since he's been out of school because he is really adamant about excelling in basketball. So to the point that he wants to get up. I mean, this is his true dedication. He gets up like 6 o'clock in the morning so I can take him to the park so he can start shooting. And the reason that we go so early is because where we live, it gets so hot. So he couldn't go like during the day because it's so extremely hot during the day. So we go in the morning or we go late in the evening while it's still light outside for him to be able to be in a cooler temperature to really be able to practice. So my day is now taking him to the park, but then it's like, okay, so when I go to the park, what am I gonna, I gotta be doing some kind of business thing. So I've really made it a point to, that would be my time for my personal development. That's what I do. And then I have a ritual that I do on LinkedIn to do some kind of do grassroots marketing to find more of the people that I can serve. So that's typically what I'm able to do during that time. But it was because of the transition that I had to make that. I was doing something altogether different when he was in school. I had a completely different schedule because I was just able to drop him off and then I could do what I needed to do. But really being able to focus on the things that are going to make the cash register ring has been something that I've really made it a point to focus on. I may not do my full ritual like I used to do. I'm kind of doing just the highlights of, okay, I know I got to do these things because this is what's going to make my business grow. This is what's going to bring me income. Now, the other stuff was more nicety kind of stuff, but I know these three things is what I got to do to keep the business going. So that's been my focus.
Yeah, well, it's interesting there with all the changes that we have to take, because I'm a mom of five myself, and I know how difficult it is to run this one there, pick that one there, and how you can try and balance out your schedule really to be more productive, if that makes sense. You know,
Right.
what kind of advice would you have for, you know, other mums that are trying to sort of, whether they're working or whether they're trying to start a business, what kind of things are quite important to stay grounded and to focus, basically?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think you should at least plan your day out on paper before you walk it out. That's a strong recommendation for me. I know stuff can happen and you can write it out and it's probably never going to go the way that you plan. But if you have it written out and say that something happens that kind of makes it not go the way it's supposed to, you can look down on your calendar and say, okay, today is 1:30. I am supposed to be on a podcast with Esther. So although I didn't do the stuff I did do earlier today. I know I'm going to focus on this. I can take hold of my day here at 1:30 and really know that and be okay with that and take those small wins. I think it's very also important to journal what you're grateful for, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in what's not happening that we lose sight of what we have achieved, those small wins that are going to get us to our promised land. So it's very imperative for you to write those things out and really know, okay, granted, I didn't get this done, but I did a podcast, I wrote an article today, and I was able to follow up with 5 people that I can possibly serve, and then be okay with that. And then next time, just start all over again the next day. Do what you didn't do the next day and just
No,
keep it going.
yeah, that's some great tips on there for anybody who's listening, who's kind of struggling to get back on there. What I want to look into is, obviously you being an authenticity strategist, how are you empowering women? How are you helping them to get the best out of themselves? And especially, you focus on introverts. Do you just work with introverts, and do you work with everybody? And how do you help them?
Right. Yeah. So I just work with, I work primarily with introverted female entrepreneurs. There have been some leaders that I have worked with that have not have introverts on their teams, and just learning how to better assist them and communicate with them and just help them set them up for more success. So I've had that opportunity as well. But I really assist them with their lead generation and their sales process. Because what I have found in myself and in others is that we're very passionate about our product or service. It's just the cold outreach that we really struggle with. We're not one to just have just idle chit chat or just have some little small talk with someone that we don't know. We're very personable about what we're doing. So what I have found to be the perfect icebreaker for us is a survey, because a survey allows us to connect with people, be able to filter more so than convince, really be able to find out what that particular person wants, give us time to think and really ponder over it, empathize with the person, and then be able to come up with a creative solution that could be something that would get them to their next level, whatever they're trying to achieve. But it's not the shoot from the hip kind of thing that that a lot of extroverts do when they're talking to somebody, when it comes to their product or service. It just really gives us that time to just ponder and pause, which I found very imperative for my fellow introvert as well as myself.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, because I think I fall in that bracket as many times, and it's very hard to try and express yourself or put certain things out. So do you have like a program, or how do you go about assisting and helping other people with those issues?
So initially, I have 2 ways that I help. I have a guide that kind of tells people what to do. It's not very specific in that sense, but it is, I mean, it gives them somewhat of an overview to do that. And that's a free guide that they can get. But if they really want to master this skill and cut the learning curve and have something that they could use in less than an hour, it's really my Survey survey system. And it's just several videos that I go through and give you step-by-step instruction on exactly how to use this system and how you can actually use it on social media. Because that was one of the things that I learned how to do when we were in the COVID state, where we couldn't go out and go to social gatherings and networking events to meet people. We had to either do virtual networking events, or we had to meet people on social media. So that's when I was really able to somewhat master the skill and figure out what things are really going to work and how you can provide value to others and really make it a win-win situation, whether you're in a B2B or a B2C type of situation, that you can truly serve the people that want what you have, and then you can help them level up what they want and get to their promised land as well, without being salesy, I'll say, because that's really what the key. I know everybody gets those DMs, right? Where somebody tells you that they're a coach and they're going to help you make 20K in 90 days, or a VA where they can help you delegate some of the things that you are doing so you can focus on the more income producing activities. Everybody, I know everybody's getting those messages. So I really wanted to point that you are truly building that connection and that relationship. Instead of that competitive feel. I think as women, I notice as women, we are more centered around relationships. We like that. We're not in that competitive type of
Mm.
energy that often men have. The feminine energy is more collective and collaborative and really just want to help one another. So it gives us the opportunity to actually do that. And then if the person wants what we have, great. If they don't, they potentially could be a cheerleader or a raving fan for us to continue expanding and grow our business. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to have that fine line because, like you say, those DMs are quite off-putting, and you do get a lot of them, on different social media platforms or even the emails and things like that, which is,
Right.
which is not a way of building relationships. And like you rightly say, it's the whole thing about collaboration and not having that great competition, and it's working together and helping each other out. No,
Exactly.
that's sounds, absolutely amazing with that. I wanted to touch on something that, you had in your bio, which is talking about, helping children to be authentic, basically. Is it something that you do as well? Do you work with any children, trying to help them to understand themselves, or you just work with women?
No, I only just work with women, but I'm a firm believer if mama's good, the kids are good. Okay. And I love to break it down like this.
Yeah.
And that is why my heart is for women. I get that asked about a lot of why you just want to work with women.
Mm,
My goal is to help mama and grandma. Why? Because typically mama and grandma are the ones that are raising the kids. And if mama and grandma are in a good headspace and have
mhm.
that flexibility to really be there for the kids, they're going to raise strong kids.
Yeah.
And then those strong kids are going to grow into strong adults. And those stronger adults are then going to build strong communities. And the communities are going to help the world as a whole be a better
Mm,
place. So if I can start with mama and grandma, I can have a deeper effect on the whole aspect of the world because that's the nucleus of everything, mama and
mm.
grandma. So that's
Wow.
that's why I really focus on them more
Yeah,
so than.
that's yeah, that's so powerful. And it's, with children as well, like, I always refer to one of the comments that I say about certain things are not taught in school. And
Right.
it starts at home, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then, but mama's got to be at home
Yeah.
and mama's got to be able to be present for
Mm,
all of that kind of thing to happen. She can't be ripping and running, trying to make ends meet, and she
mm,
doesn't have the time or the energy to be a mama. I mean, that's really important as well. So
yeah.
that's why I'm all about just helping women have that flexibility because we got to be flexible if we got kids. And then definitely if we are single mom,
Mm,
that's even more flexibility that we
yeah.
have because we only got ourselves to depend on. So yeah, for sure. That is what the whole goal, the realm of it is.
Yeah. And would you say when you do the work, have you had any challenges that you've had to overcome, either from a client perspective or just challenges generally with you setting up?
Oh yeah, I mean they're entrepreneurs are very optimistic about everything, right? So there are goals and aspirations that I have not met yet, that I haven't reached yet. But I think in the whole process of it, it's just I'm all about the journey instead of the destination and really just enjoying the figuring out part of it. Just those revelations that I have is just so powerful to me. And just for those that are listening, that I'm sure you're probably like, well, girl, I'm going through too. I want to make it a point to let you guys know the power and importance of taking time to just think
Mm,
by yourself, no distraction, where you can just literally just think about whatever is going on in your business that's not going the right way. Because
mm,
I'm a firm believer that whatever you need to know or whatever you need to do, it is already within you. You just have to let yourself think and take the time to rest, and you will be so amazed what comes out. I think I get the best ideas when I'm just sitting. I
mm.
know oftentimes people think if I need to grind it out for 7 days. No, you don't need to grind it out for 7 days. You got to take that time to rest because that's when those ideas come to you. I get so many ideas from just sitting down or resting,
Mhm.
or if I'm just at the gym working out, it's just like I'll think about something. It's like, oh yeah. I never thought about like that. Let me go write this down real quick. But it's a time that I'm not working when I come up with those ideas. And I think oftentimes we think we got to grind to get the idea, when in
Mm.
actuality, it's the rest and the relaxation and the reflection
Mm.
that we do that really helps us come up with those new and innovative ideas.
Yeah, that is so, so important because I think, you hit the nail on the head there because people do keep pushing and it's
Mhm.
kind of like you haven't got the energy to kind of have your creative juices, if that makes sense, with regards to, creating other things and thinking about different things when you're so busy and don't give yourself time. Um,
Right.
that's a very strong bit of advice because my next question was going to ask you about what advice you'd have for aspiring entrepreneurs, those people that want to set themselves up or, even thinking of starting a family, but are a bit worried about how the whole thing balances out and what they can do.
Right. I guess my first thing is don't try to get it all done. You don't want to get everything done. You want to get the most important things done. The things that are going to truly move your business. What is going to bring you in income? What can you do that is fast, easy, and profitable? That's what you want to focus on. Because as a mom, you have 50 million things going on. So if you have a lot of time to work on something, you want something that's really going to push you to take you to the next level. So it's got to be something that is really fast, easy, and profitable. Okay. And I got that from my mentor, Darren Hardy. So I don't want to take credit for that. So that's not me. Secondly, I really want to tell you that it's very important just to take that time to rest. Take the time. If you work, I mean, you decide what your work schedule was. Because I know when I first started, my work schedule was Tuesday through Saturday. Is how I worked. And I took off Sunday and Monday. Whatever you decide, whether it be a Monday through Friday or Wednesday through Monday, whatever it is, make sure you take two. I would say at least one, but two for sure, to take time to rest your body. Really just relax, maybe go somewhere with the family, somewhere out and adventurous where you guys can have that fellowship, build memories with one another, and just let your mind relax. And then make sure you keep that notebook and a pen with you at all times, because you will be amazed about the different things that will come out as far as the ideas on what you can do and implement in your business when you're taking that true time off.
Oh wow, that's really powerful. You've touched on something there that I really like to pick on, and that's about your mentor and how that can also help other people because sometimes people look at it and think, oh, is this investment worth it to have a mentor, or would you say it's it depends on everybody's circumstances basically?
No, I think I'm a firm believer that you don't achieve your goals, you grow into them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a quote by I can't think of his name right. I can't think of his name right now, but that's not mine either. But you you don't grow, yeah, you don't achieve your goals, you grow into them. So how do you grow? First of all, you're around people that are doing big things and that they are big thinkers. And as a result of being around them, you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. They're going to cause you to do big things and be a big
Yeah.
thinker. Or the direct reverse can happen too. If you're around negative Nancy and negative Ned, the same thing, the reverse can happen. So you have to be mindful of the people that you hang out with and know that if you already knew what you needed to know to level up your business or get where you needed to go, you would be doing it already.
Yeah.
Right. So how are you going to how are you going to level up? You're going to have to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That you're going to have to at some level. And I know some of you are saying, well, girl, I can go on YouTube and I can do this. Yeah, you can go on YouTube and you can do that. But I know from experience that the people that are on YouTube are giving you information. They're just giving you a taste, as my
Yeah.
girlfriend calls it, a nibble. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are just doing free stuff, you are considered, it's called a nibbler. Okay. You want the whole meal. And if you want the whole meal, you got to invest in you. It's going to be the highest return on ROI that you ever will be investing in you, because once you learn it, nobody can take it away from you at all. And then what you can do is serve others by cutting the people that come behind you, their learning curve, to learn what you have learned through the experiences that you have had. So it's just a continuous cycle of just helping other people. And just like you invested in yourself, they're gonna want to invest in you as a result of helping them. So make sure that you do that. Don't settle and cut yourself short thinking that, don't invest. You want to invest so you can level up.
No, that's brilliant advice on that point with regards to investing in oneself, because like you said, I love that term, the nibbler, because at the end of the day, that's all you're getting, and
That's all you're
it's
getting.
true. It's okay when you're starting off and you're trying to sort of build up and everything, but eventually you do need to have that support to
Yes.
level up. Otherwise, you're going to stay quite stagnant for a long time.
Right.
Where do people find you, Inga? It's, you've mentioned so many different things, but if somebody wants to find you and, check out what you do, where can they reach you on?
Yeah, so I'll say first and foremost would be my website. It's ingafay.com. That's INGA, F as in Frank, AY.com. And in addition to that, I am on social media, and most of my handles are Ingafay Unplugged, because that's the name of my company. So that's Ingafay, INGAFAY, like I just spelled, and Unplugged. So if you want to check me out on LinkedIn, that's where I am. I have a business page there. Instagram, I'm Ingafay Unplugged. Facebook, I'm Ingafay Unplugged. So yeah, just if you want to check me out. Oh, YouTube, Ingafay Unplugged. So yeah, those are the places that I am. For
No,
sure.
fantastic. Well, I'm definitely going to be sharing all your links when we release the podcast episode. But you've been an absolute brilliant guest, and thank you so much for sharing those tips and some advice for those, aspiring people or the introverts, just so that they can see what is possible, what they can achieve, what they can do with themselves. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Esther.
You're welcome.